systems that rely on feedback true their aim across time. They start out with a fuzzy goal. This is even how large language models are trained. The aim is fuzzy to begin with, and then it tightens as it iterates. That's the definition of learning. And so with regard to the plan you have now, if you're not fully confident in it, well, flesh it out more, as I said, talk to other people about it, but then also understand that that's your plan, unless you have a better one. And so stick to it, right? And if you stick to it and you learn as a consequence of your persistence, you will gather the information that will enable you to make a better plan, for sure. New opportunities will come your way. And sometimes that'll mean a radical shift when it's time, and that's fine. But you're not going to do that without a bad plan even. And so if you don't think your plan is perfect, well, that doesn't mean that you're making a mistake. And then if you're really fortunate and you watch, and this is sort of how you cooperate with your plan and with the divine, so to speak, without becoming hidebound and insistent that your way is the right way, is you have a plan and then you search to see if there's open doors on the way to the goal, right? And if it's a good plan, people will spontaneously line up to cooperate with you.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is how, all those, well, it's either a scam, but people who talk about manifesting, they're manifest, it'll work. Mm-hmm. Those are either scam artists, which I think a good portion of them are, or they make a plan and are amazed at all the doors that open when they have a plan. That's
exactly right. That's exactly what manifesting is. And you got that right. There's two parts to it. There's the scam part and the other part, which is doors. It's like you're standing somewhere and there's 30 hallways in front of you. And down each of those hallways, there are sets of doors. And so you choose a hallway and then you test the doors. And if you stay at the beginning of that, if you stay on the landing, you go nowhere and no doors open. If you pick a pathway, you forego the other ones, at least temporarily, but then you start to see the doors and then you can push and see, are they opening? Now, I would also say generally with the plan, the amount of your plan you're going to change should be proportionate to the magnitude of the opportunity, which means you can make a radical shift in your life now and then if the benefits are clear and overwhelming. Right? Or the risk is worth taking in this adventurous way. But other than that, you should tilt towards conservatism. Don't change anything in your plan that you don't have to change. Right? It's a tight balance to manage because you need to be able to pivot when circumstances have genuinely changed. But you don't want to upset yourself too badly by becoming a new person every 15 minutes, which is the curse of someone who's very high in openness.
And not very high in conscientiousness.
Well, yes, right. Yep.
That was good. I've been super surprised. Every year I've been doing, I like New Year's resolutions and things, but so once a year I'll make a plan and I shoot pretty high because you always taught me to shoot high. Who knows what you're capable of? So I shoot way further than I think I can get. And I'm like, okay, this is my plan for 2025. And then I don't really look at it. So it's different than future authoring, which is really detailed and it's really helpful. Mm-hmm. But I also grew up with you as a dad, so I have that going for me. But I've been so surprised because every year I'll look at my goals again. Yeah. I'll be like, you know what? I got through 80% of these, way higher than I was expecting. And it's because when you do make a plan, it's like your vision changes.
Well, it does
and you
change.
Can see these open doors.
You look at where you're headed. This is literally how perception works. You look at where you're headed. Okay, you need to be headed somewhere. That also works in abstraction. Okay, now that you're headed somewhere, the world divides itself into pathways forward, right? Things that help you along your way, things that get in your way, and irrelevant things. Most things are irrelevant once you've specified a pathway. That also controls anxiety, right? There's lots of things you don't have to look at when you're going that way.
Definitely.
Okay. Things that help you, things that get in your way. That works socially. friends, and foes. So pathways, tools, obstacles, friends, foes, and then agents of magical transformation. And agents of magical transformation change your aim. Right, and that's the role they play in fiction, for example. Wizards and magical beings change the game. And that's the world. That's how you see the world. That's how your vision works. That's how you hear things. That's how the world presents itself to you. So no goal, no doorways. No goal, no pathway. Right? Yeah.
Or random horrible doorways.
Yeah. Sure.
That lead like upside down.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. That was helpful.
If you hear a baby screaming, she's hungry. But how does one distinguish between a relationship that requires personal growth and sacrifice to thrive and one that is fundamentally misaligned with one's deeper values and should be let go?
Yeah,
well, if that person is going through that and also just had a baby, I would say wait a little bit, because you're in baby mode right now and it's pure chaos for at least a year.
Yeah, fair.
If that's the case.
It's very hard to deal with a partner that lies.
Oh, yeah.
That's... Now, if they're lying and that's improving...
I don't know.
Well, look, people don't start out 100% trustworthy, you know. The more lies there are, the harder it is by a lot. But you can see a trajectory of improvement. That's really important. If you're can the person negotiate? Do they negotiate in good faith? And do they implement the consequences of the negotiation? You know, you can take a relationship that's got quite a number of kinks in it and straighten it out across time if people will commit to the process and tell you the truth. If it's a downhill slope continually, no improvement whatsoever, then you're playing a game that you probably can't win.
I think that's a pretty good answer. I think the lying part is key too. Like there's nothing more important than that, right? Otherwise you can't sort out a problem. You'd be like, can we fix it? Sure, we could fix it. If that's a lie, you know.
It also makes you question your own sanity.
That's yes.
You know, if you're with someone who insists that the way you see things when you're trying to see them as accurately as you can is a delusion or faulty, it's insanity making.
How often do you think that happens in relationships?
A lot.
Isn't that pathological though? Like, isn't that a disorder of some sort if somebody does that? Or is it not pathological and lots of people experience it?
Well, I don't really think there is any difference between personality psychopathology in its most disruptive guise and the proclivity to lie. You know, all of the psychotherapeutic schools are predicated on the assumption that truth redeems. The collaborative empiricism I was talking about before, it's like, put it to the test, watch what happens. That assumes truth in relationship to the analysis of the outcome, and iterate. Psychoanalytic free association, that's just truth. Say whatever comes to your mind. Well, that's what you do when you're telling the truth. You just say, you can become a master at that. Like, am I a master at that? I'm not perfect, but I do say what comes to mind. That's the manner in which I direct my words. I'm not trying to, well, I have an aim. Hopefully the aim is to make things better. And no, it's more differentiated than that, but that's the overall aim. Do I want to make things worse? No, I'd rather make them better. For how many people? Well, for the people that I'm primarily responsible for, first and foremost, but then everyone else that can be managed. And then I try to say what aids that. I'm not manipulating towards some determined end.
You think there are some things that you should figure out early, though, where they just don't work? Like, if one person is extremely organized and extremely high in conscientiousness, and the other person isn't, like, is extremely low.
Well,
but those things you should figure out early.
we have this Understand Myself personality questionnaire.
Yeah.
Right? And it has a couples component. And
Which is great, by the way, and everybody should do it.
yeah.
That's like my favorite thing other than Peterson Academy. That's my favorite thing that
Why?
you've developed. I've been using that since we had to score it on paper.
Yeah.
Like, I was obsessed with that. I was
Yeah.
the one that said we should do a couples
Yeah.
version.
Yeah.
Was using it to screen people. I don't
Yeah.
know. You know what it does? It sorts through extroverts too. Because you meet an extrovert, especially if you're an extroverted person, you're like, I like this person. This person is great.
Yeah.
And extroversion just coats every other part of their personality. And you're like, this person's super fun.
Yeah.
I had that problem with hiring for a while.
Right.
It's like, are
Right.
they awesome or are they extroverted? And a lot of the time it was like, oh, they scored 94th in extroversion. Who knows what they're really like?
Right.
Because it can hide low conscientiousness. So they can be a total slob and not care about it.
Yeah.
But really be really charming.
Yeah.
That can be
Yeah.
hidden. Or neurotic, like high neuroticism. So they're extremely volatile, but also very charming.
Yeah.
So just figuring out your personality and your partner's personality and being like, okay, are there things here that we have to discuss to see if we can work through?
Yeah.
And one of those has got to be conscientiousness.
Oh, well, all of the traits, I would say, is the wider you are apart on a given trait, the harder it is to bridge the gap. Now, there can be some advantages, like if your grandmother, your mom's mom, was pretty introverted,
Yeah.
and your grandfather was really extroverted,
Yeah.
and she valued that in him, and it helped her a lot because it opened up the social space. So that's on the extroverted side. Conscientiousness, that's a rough one. If there's a huge split in conscientiousness, I suppose it's all to the advantage of the unconscientious person.
Yeah. You'll
But-
just end up, if you're the conscientious one, you'll just end up cleaning
You'll
for the
just do
rest of your
everything.
life.
Yeah.
And time management is a hard one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Openness is another tough one.
Yeah.
Have you seen Armand
Yeah.
You know, if one of you is very, very open, interested in ideas, interested in aesthetic experience, and the other is very low in openness, it's like you're speaking different languages.
This also might be helpful if people do find themselves in a situation where they have dated a number of people and they're like, it's not working, it's not working, it's not working. Am I a narcissistic, horrible person? And is that the problem? Or maybe you've got some extreme personality traits that are kind of rare.
Mhm.
Because I think that's part of what happened to me with being,
Have you seen Armand
I just
Christoph?
I'm an extreme person. And I was like, is it me? I'm the problem? I mean, technically that would
What
make
do you
me the
want?
problem. But then I found another extreme person. I was like, okay, now we can be lunatics together.
Yeah, well, I was fortunate with your mother too, because she's a lot like me, but not quite so much so. You know, your mom would be in the
You know where the
upper echelons of extroversion among 100 people, right? She'd be more extroverted than, say, 75 of those people, or 80 even.
know where the
But I'm like more extroverted than 10,000 people.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've always been that way, right? I talk ever since I could talk. I never stopped. Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
Got any concluding thoughts?
I
I
don't
could
know,
wrap
that
up
was
a little
fun.
bit.
Yeah, you go for it. That was fun.
We started by talking about conservatism in this non-political sense. If your life is a mess, you should think hard about doing what other people have always done. And what does that mean? Well, we kind of outlined that with the future authoring program. You know, get married,
A citizen is accusing you of
have some
stealing the
friends
bust of Lathasa
that
from
you
Jaden
value,
Hall.
and think about
Found
what
the
that's
bust in your cabinet.
what
do
that
you
means.
have to say?
Sort your family out. Get your career together. Educate yourself. Figure out how to resist temptation. Serve your community.
Regrettably, I have
Right? Do
no
all those
further
things.
use for
See
you.
what your life's like.
If what I heard
If
is
it's
true,
not still what you want, well, maybe you're some open lunatic and you have to
the
do
gray
something,
fox knows you are my
something,
informant. Either way,
really
it's
different.
over.
But
You
even
didn't
then,
really think I'd trust the likes of
binding
you for
that
very
within
long.
the confines of all those other things, that's a good idea. Take a small step in the direction that you want things to go,
Yes,
and
I can.
build from that.
You are under
And
arrest for the theft of
that's
the bust
always
of
a good
Lathasa
exploratory
Antares, Countess of
technique.
Jadenhall.
Something minimal in the right direction, right?
Okay, well, that was fun. Thanks for including me. That was
Well, thank you for setting it up and for agreeing to do it and for finding the questions and
yeah, and thanks
paying attention.
Thanks for everybody who submitted questions.
Yeah, much
Hopefully
appreciated.
people enjoyed it or found
Yep.
it helpful.
Yeah. When I definitely enjoy this sort of thing, and which is why I'm a psychologist, not a politician. Seriously, it's the right level of analysis for me, and it's a more fundamental level, anyways, because the fundamental way people put the world together is by putting themselves together and working to fortify and improve the relationships they have at hand. If everyone did that, there'd be no reason to even have the political,
Agreed.
right? So for everybody who's watching and listening, we're going to now go over to the
With your help. And here's the reward you were promised. Even though the bust is gone, you've earned it. I'm also promoting you to the guild rank of Bandit, which will let you use Darji of Leowin as your fence. Good work. Sadly, I don't... You can find her at the Lonely Suitor Lodge. I wouldn't recommend bothering her at home, unless the door is unlocked. Shadow Arch.
You are the new thief. I have a special request from the widow of a former fence in Leowin. A street scavenger made off with a ring that the widow Adarji values highly. The guild frowns on freelance thieves. This is good. Braville perhaps presents little scope for an ambitious member of our guild. Yeah, Ursan's husband, Alaron, is missing. The hunter... This... We don't talk... I saw Kudai moping around outside the mage... Good hunting.
I'm saving up enough for some medicine. She lives on the west side.
Blessings of Stendar above you. Why does the prey... Yes, the stupid lizard hunts with the name Amusai. Find him. Find my ring. Make him suffer. Kill him, and I will be pleased. Stupid guild rules. He's only an Argonian. He's less than human, and much less than Kashi. If you must spare him, at least make him suffer. Speak with Jabari here in town. Knowledge is the key to success. Swift hunting.
I'm so... The poor bugger's come. Blessings of Julianos upon ye. What do you want? Yes. What? Yes, I doubt it. Don't try to manipulate me. I accept. I have no, don't waste. No more. You're frightening. Sure, that's cute. Don't waste, yes, good one. Don't waste your flattery on me. Good one. Don't, please. I'm sorry. We understand. What a thoughtful gift. That will get you something. That will get for me. That's very good. I went to the Imperial City in hopes of joining the Thieves Guild. Sunlit freedom. Yes, I stole that ring from a Darji. When I went to sell it, the fence told me I was too hot for him. Well, I figured I would ransom it back to the Countess. Except, she tricked me. The Countess rarely leaves the castle. I owe you a debt of gratitude. I can see. So, Alicia Caro has recovered her ring. And now you want to know where she keeps it so you can steal it back. My pockets are a little light at the moment. I don't know where she keeps the ring, but I know who does. She eats dinner in the castle at the 8th bell. You may have to sweet talk her, but she knows all about Alicia Caro's habits and schedules. You should know that there are other secrets in that castle. I've heard of a hidden torture chamber. They say the Count Marius interrogates the servants whisper that the Argonians are dragged into the basement and never seen again. You should stay out of there, just in case. Blessings of Mystara upon you. pleasure to speak with you. Go to it.
Maik knows much. Werewolves? Where? Wolves? Men that are wolves? Many wolves. Everywhere. Many men. That is enough for Maik. Be seeing you.
Granger, we're for the ones who pay attention to every little detail. The ones who fuss, tinker, and sweat the small stuff. Because you know the tiniest things can make the biggest difference when it comes to keeping business moving. We get it. We're the same way. Offering access to product experts to help you quickly and easily find what you need. So whatever your industry, you know you're always getting professional grade products. Call clickgranger.com or just stop. Granger, for the ones who get it done.
I am Ladora I assist her ladyship so that her enlightened policies might achieve the greatest possible. Please, go on. Don't. Is that so?
Yeah, I get it.
Let's just talk. Good one. That's what non.
All right, I get it.
Take your time. Don't talk. That's pretty good. You're wasting your breath. Let's just talk. That's what? Such adventures. How I envy you. Don't. You sure? That's cute. What? That's not bad. Not bad. Don't. That's no. Yeah, I get it. That will get you some. All right, I get. Countess Caro is so relieved to have the ring back. It's been missing for many years. She wears it constantly. Well, not all the time. I mean, she puts it in her jewelry box. Shh, it's dangerous. The Countess has a secret passage somewhere in the basement that leads to her private quarters. That's where the torture chamber is. Morning, she's at the town chapel. At the castle, she hosts the evening meal at 8. She travels to Coral on the... Leowin is in a state of transition. It has long been a respected county, making moderate cultural and economic contributions to the empire. However, Leowin must move toward the mainstream of imperial culture, both in trade and in political affairs. I think I hear Milady calling.
What is it?
What?
Have you heard about how the Blackwood Company...
I'm listening.
Hello there.
I've not always been happy with the standards of conduct in the Mages Guild, but Hannibal Traven's reforms are quite encouraging.
I've heard others say the same.
Take care.
Well met. We see that slavery has been abolished in Monaco. House Dress and Halal have renounced the slave trade and freed the beast folk from servitude. Goodbye.
Why does the prey approach me? Does the hunter have this one's ring? Does the hunter... My ring. All thanks to the claws of the clan mother. You have recovered it. Is that slimy Argonian dead? You have earned the reward. The Thieves Guild was always good to Adarji's dearest mate. I am grateful that the memory is still honored. Have you been near Rosentia? Every time I pass whatever it is, she should clean up her act. Knowledge is power. Swift hunting.
Have mercy. Just one coin.
You have returned? Good work. You are truly an asset to the guild. I am promoting you to Prowler. I have a small problem that buffoon, Hieronymus Lex, has invaded the Imperial City. Hieronymus Lex has vowed not to leave until the Grey Fox is in custody. The poor of the waterfront are kindred to the Grey Fox, and many guild members could be jailed. He is the... Shadowhide the Hunter. Amuses. If you're... Shadowhide the Hunter.
I'm really tired. Yes, apparently, Braden Lyrian was one of those vile creatures, and Rainil, he seemed to be such... Arnora and Gerunda were once a happy... He was... Yeah, my favorite customer. What do you got? I think I... You drive. I think I... That's a fair deal. That's a good... I think I can... I think... A good price for a good I think I can move this item for you at that price. Got anything else? You've made a good bit of gold. You got a fine You drive a hard... That's more than I'd usually pay. I think you've made a good bit of... I think I can move this item for you at that I think I can move I think... A good... An excellent bargain. You drive a hard A fine transaction. You've made a fine I think I can move... I think I can move... A fine I think I... That seems a fair... I think I... I think I... That's a fair... I think I... A fine transaction. A fine You drive a... I think I can move this item for a fine transaction. A good price for a good I think I can move this item for you at that price. Got anything else? You've made a... I think I can move this item for you at that price. Got anything else? I'm glad. Shadow hide you.
Well, well. Look. You've got... Great show, great show. You really brought down the house.
Nothing I'd like to talk about. The Emperor and his 3 sons dead.
You go ahead. Of course.
A pleasure to... There's much I can show you. Be seeing you. Good day. I'm willing to teach, if you're willing to learn. Farewell.
Good day. What can I interest you in? Take care.
I hope I can help. An excellent bargain. Another. Be seeing you.
Salute! Welcome. Please say your piece.
You have the hands of a healer. We'll go outside when you want.